In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this type of lid for this square. It's the same technique whether you do round or square. It's the same technique, but one's just square and one is round. So I've got my slab, and I've already smoothed it out a little bit. So I made my slab. And very much like how you may have made this for the base, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put that out, and I want to have it hang over just a little bit, so I'm going to adjust that just a hair. So I've got a little bit more to work with. And again, if you've got a T-pin at home or a safety pin, any kind of pin or needle like that would work really well for cutting. But you can also use the corner of your white credit card or the tool that's like a sharpened pencil, the cone tip tool. Now, ideally, I would be looking straight down on this when I do that, but because of the camera, I can't. So I'm just going to guess and hope that everything is good there. So again, this is exactly like I made the bottom, except it's going to be for the lid. So that's pretty much all I need to do on that part of the lid. I'm going to very gently set that one aside, and I'm going to put my other slab down. And now what I'm working on is the center piece. So I'm going to a little bit more aggressively press that down so that I can see the inside. So I can see that impression. And what I'm going to do is cut on the inside of that. So I'm not going to cut to the outside, I'm going to cut to the inside. So this is the outside of the tube, this is the inside of the tube. So I don't know why I just switched that around, but I did. So I'm going to cut that one. I'm going to set my other piece out of the way a little bit. So again, I want to try and line those up really well. The inside indentation. And I could cut it a little bit smaller than that if I think I'm going to have trouble making it fit. But basically, that's going to be the inside of my lid, just like this is the inside of this round lid. And I could cut it so that it's just the square with a square hole in the middle, or I can go ahead and use it as is. I need to remember, if it's too hard to peel up off the mat, pull the mat off the piece. So I'm going to put that there. And I need to score all of the bottom, including out there to the edge. And I want to add slip, just like anything else that you're constructing. I want to add that slip, or you can use vinegar. And I want to, on the inside of where that lid is going to fit, I'm going to score that too. And I need to make sure that my pot is not dry at this stage, because my pot is dry, the lid's not going to fit, because remember, the clay shrinks as it dries. So I'm going to center that. I'm going to press that down some. I don't want to press too much, I don't want to distort it. And then I can use that rolling guide to kind of even it up a little bit. And I may even want to, either with the rolling guide or with my credit card, my smoother, it up. I'm going to angle in a little bit so that there's a little bit of a slant to that. It might make it fit a little bit easier. Now if it's just a little bit large once it's done, you can take your damp sponge and smooth it. Now I'm going to clean up around that edge. And you can hair dry it or air dry it a little bit, because right now it's going to be too soft to really work with very much. See, that's pretty flexible yet. But that should fit down inside my pot, and it does. Now I can have this flat, I can flip the ends up a little bit. I could have cut a different shape for this. So maybe if I wanted to have a little bit more, I don't know, something going on there, I could have done that. I could add a handle, like I added this little clay branch. I could add a handle. Maybe I want something like that, and I would just score and slip and put that on. But notice this is still kind of wonky. This still needs cleaned up, just like any other kind of piece of pottery. So I need to make sure that I get everything cleaned up well. But I may need to wait until it dries a little bit more. But I want to make sure that maybe I want to smooth that line out. That's just part of the extruded process. Until I didn't score on a slip, I didn't attach that. It just fell off. Like right now, because I put my lid on when it was too soft, it's going to get all deformed if I keep handling it. So I may need to let that set up a little bit. And I would let it set that way so that it stays flat. And then this also has some stuff that needs to be cleaned up along the edge there. That would make my lid fit a little bit cleaner. And there's a little hole here. I need to add just a little ball of clay in there. So I still need to do fussing and cleanup just like I do on any other kind of pot. But that's basically how you make this type of lid. And it's the same whether you're making the round or the square.